Welcome back to This and Much More. I'm Evelyn, and my co-host is
Rollie Vogues.
And our special guest today is
Robert or Rob. People just call me Rob.
What do you like more?
Really, I'm Roberto, but
Roberto.
Roberto.
I mean, we'll call you Roberto.
That's senior. I'm junior, so
Okay.
Rob is cool.
Rob.
Yeah,
Does anybody
Rob.
call you Robbie?
No, just Rob. It's always been Rob.
We have a friend. He goes by Robbie Rob. So shout out Robbie Rob, right?
Yeah, shout out Robbie Rob, man.
But it's cool. Nice to meet you, Rob.
Nice
We've
to
already
meet you.
had a few little conversations. And,
Off camera type shit. But yeah, so we're glad that you're here, bro. Like, honestly, we've been having a lot of vintage people, right? So it's cool. Like, I think after you, we're gonna kind of like tone it down a little bit, you know.
Chill out.
But you know what though? It's cool because even though it's a lot of vintage people, everybody's story is very different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's pretty
And
crazy.
everybody sees things differently.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No.
Like, you know, how do you feel about the vintage?
No, that's cool. I mean, when I started out, whatever it was probably like 16. I got into it.
In 2016?
15, yeah.
Oh, that's a while back.
Yeah. I was like freshman year in college. I got into it. It was cool. And then I found out about the first hip hop. And by that time, I was already like going to get stuff. And like I would find stuff that really wasn't like my size because I was a bigger dude. So, you know, I just lob it to the homies. Like, oh, give me $10, $20, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it started out. And then we found out about hip hop with Jess and Lucia, right? And Nate, Nate is a character too. You might want to have him on too. He's crazy. But I was out and about looking for stuff, and I was in like workwear still because at the time it was like a part-time. I was working in the family business. We do construction. And,
Okay. Same.
Yeah. And I was at this spot, and Nate, I was going to go to check out and whatnot. And I had like this cool little Tommy Hilfiger tracksuit or whatever, right, with the ribboning down the side. And then Nate, can you cuss on here? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yes, you can
All right.
cuss.
But Nate was like I can tell just the way he was dressing. Like, oh, this is a vintage dude. Like this is we're talking like this, like he was like vintage dude for sure. And the way he's going through the racks, all Speedy Gonzalez and shit, like, killing it. And then I get to the checkout and he saw the little tracks. I didn't really talk to him because like I really keep to myself unless like we're cool people and like I've dealt with you and like catch the vibe and see it's cool. But Nate, I'm in line, Nate gets behind me. You motherfucker. Where'd you get that shit? I'll give you $20 or something like that, right? And like I was like, bro, and keep in mind, bro, we're strangers. And he calls me a motherfucker off rip. He's like, you motherfucker. I was like, dude, what the fuck? I just thought it was so funny, right? But I was telling him, oh no, you know, yeah, I've been into the vintage thing for a little bit. And it was funny because literally the night before, I was like, oh, I'm gonna see what this vintage thing is about. So I made like a vintage Instagram of what it was. Now it's Bounce Back, right? But
What was the name before?
it was Texas Heat Finds, is what it was.
Damn.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar. So I don't know.
I don't know.
But you didn't have like followers like that or anything.
Nah, the most I got up to was like before like we switched over was like 2,500.
Unless people just took that name.
I don't know, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, I was literally telling him, like, it was so funny because I always, every now and then we'll bring up this story and they always
you
find it
sell
funny. Oh, hell no. I'm like, oh, fuck you, Nate. Nah, because I was like, because he was trying to give me like $20 or something. Like,
How much
and,
you
and at the
charged
time, the suit, you could probably get rid of it for like $100. And that's just throwing it online or something. That was before I even knew about hip. So I met Nate, right? Like that. And then I was telling him, like, bro, it's so crazy. Literally the night before I made my vintage Instagram.
Yeah.
Like 0 followers besides like my personal.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, do you know about this event? And I was like, what event? And he was talking about hip hop. Like, yeah, they just had the first one. Like they do it like once every month or something like that. I'm like, oh, all right, cool, whatever. And I was like, oh, well, when's the next one? I got his information. And then what happened? Oh, it was me and Leo. Leo's one of the other owners. I've known Leo since, like 5th grade.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Nah, like this is like some East Side. Like we grew up playing.
Childhood shit.
Yeah, like we grew up playing on the same team. We got real cool in like middle school.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 25. I just turned 20. Well, kind of February 25.
25?
Yeah.
You're so young.
She says that. She says that about everybody that's even a year younger than her. She's like, "You're such a baby."
Nah.
Cause he is young.
I don't know. I feel young. My body feels old, bro. I be feeling old sometimes.
Why you be going Speedy Gonzalez
Nah,
at
it's
the
like,
thrift or what?
Nah, man. I don't really do that no more. It's just like it's kind of what comes to the shop. We'll cash out or like we have like wholesale buyers that we'll link up with. But like I've been going hard, working out, and then like on Sundays we still like us at this age we have like this little Sunday league shit, and we go play right. I'll go play. I'll be like, dog, what the fuck? I'm all out of shape, knees be hurting, sore the next day. But to bring it back around, me and Leo checked out the next hip hop, and at that time I was already like kind of hoarding stuff, not really, and I was like, we went to the event. The event was dope. It was like the first time I saw like so many vintage people, that weren't like the generic stores on Westheimer, which was at the time was like 3 maybe. It was like Lo-Fi, Pavement, and Pavement's more like a thrift itself, really, in a sense. And there was another store. I forgot what the name of the store was, but there's like 3 stores that I know of that carried what I was into at the time. And we went, and then sure enough, the same day, I met Lucia and Jesse, and I was like, yo, like, how can we be a part of the next one? And then from there, we joined the next one, and then...
And y'all stuck around.
Yeah, we stuck around. We did it, I want to say, for like the next year and a half, 2 years, we didn't miss a month. It was crazy.
Man, that's crazy, because now I'm working with Lucia right now, and I'm going to help her for the next one that they do in July. They're doing it like an autism one. And it's crazy because she does have vendors coming back. But yeah.
All the time, yeah. Nah, dude, it's crazy because like when we got into it, like we did it the following month, right? And we did like $1,000 or something, right? It was cool.
Wait, and that one day?
That one, dude, that's nothing. I mean, it's crazy because like if it wasn't for me meeting Nate, to me meeting Lucia and Jesse, to me doing the event, like there wouldn't be no shop for sure. Like this, like that event at the time, it being the only one what it was, especially like in its peak, like that's like, dude, we could like I always like me at the time. I got into vintage because of Paul. I was watching the Round 2 episode. They were fucking sick. I was like, this is crazy, dude. Like what they're going through. I was like, and it was like it's out in LA. You don't have access to that here. I mean, you're gonna go to. I mean, Lo-Fi, they're cool people too. Lo-Fi, you're going to go to these stores, but it's not the same, like, environment, the community.
Wait, let's go on a quick break really quick.
Go.
And we are back. We had technical difficulties, but...
Evelyn's fault.
It is my fault. Sorry, guys. So you were talking about how you made Nate, right?
Yeah, so...
Is Nate or Nathan?
I think his real name is Nathaniel.
Nathaniel?
That's an ugly ass name.
Oh my God.
That's horrible. I mean, it's probably not as bad as mine.
But do you call him what?
Nate.
Oh, okay, Nate. So you met Nate. He introduced you to Jesse and Lucia, and then you did hip hop vintage for a year.
Well, I met Nate. He told me about the event, and through the event, I was like, who organizes the event? And then I met Jesse and Lucia. Met Fabricio that day. Met David that day. I met Mike that day from Gyms and Grills. I don't know if he's still in the vintage thing like that. I met a lot of people, man. I met Josh. And this is like, I want to say it's like 2018.
Yeah.
You know, the way you're talking about it, I feel like it's like a school where it's like
it really
they
is.
all graduated, so they don't do it as much with hip hop as much like anymore, and now it's just like new people.
Yeah,
it's a freshman and stuff.
It's most of those people. I mean, like I said, we got Bounce Back. Fabricio got Roundhouse. Josh went on to do the shop he did, and now he's with Vintage Packs. Nate's always been like a free roamer. He does whatever he wants, basically. I'm trying to think. Jesse and Lucia still host.
Jesse has his.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They have the one in
phones.
at Cargo. Is it still at Cargo? The container?
The Ironworks.
Yeah.
That's their sandwich shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but Jesse does resale photos.
I met Chris too. He was oh, man, I'm so bad with the vintage name.
Shit happens.
No, yeah.
But yeah, I met a lot of people.
So then you said before we went on break that because of that you were able to open up the store.
Well, yeah. So
how did that even?
So we went to the first event, met with Jessica Lucia. She gave us kind of the rundown. At the time, it was maybe 12 vendors, so it was nothing compared to what it gets to now.
I know, right now she
it
has
was very early on. It was very early on. Did the next one. We did $800, $1,000 that day. And then at that time, it was kind of just me, but Leo, the homie that I grew up with, he's always been. I mean, me, him, and a few other friends since early high school. We were always into clothing.
Yeah.
Like me at the time, early high school, I was Diamond, Crooks and Castle, more like the streetwear mall section, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Leo, he was into that stuff too, but he was more into we were always into shoes too. We were both always into shoes. But Leo was more into the higher end of streetwear. So it was I would put Supreme, Babe, CDG when it was popping off the way it was, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he saw what was going on, and he's always been into clothing. He loves clothes. I love clothes too. But so yeah, he would always help me set up. And around the 6 month mark of us doing hip hop, and I would I'm pretty sure because he would help me he would show up early in the morning with me, help me set up, help me sell, tear down, go put the shit back wherever we had it.
Because it ain't easy.
It ain't easy. It's work. And that's kind of one of the reasons we stopped. It's too much. It's for especially now that we have the shop. It's too much to
go do that.
Yeah, I'd rather just stay at the shop.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Well, now if you have consistent.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's what matters.
What, walk-ins or what?
Foot
traffic.
Foot traffic. Yeah.
At this point, it's pretty consistent. But so within the 6 months mark of us doing hip hop, we're doing really good. We're those one days it went from 1,000 to 2,000 some days, and it was bro, we're making this in one day. And I was I kind of had to sit down with Leo. I was yo, you want to come on board and help me do it? We'll do it 50-50, but the goal of us coming together, I told him, I want to open up a shop. Let's do a shop if we can do it. And we did that. Did that probably for another 6 months or so. Saved up some good money, and we got really cool with Andrew. Andrew is who I met through hip hop too, the other owner. Okay. And I don't know for whatever reason, it's probably his the way he is, his personality. Yeah, it's just we clicked, dude. We were always.
You met him as a vendor?
I met him as a vendor, and then when we used to go to the early morning spots, he was there. So we're always together. We saw each other probably 2-3 times a week. And then he also too, he wanted to go study construction management at UH. We even had a class or two together, I think.
Oh damn!
And
that's crazy.
Yeah, we got really cool. That's, and he's older than me. He's 28. He's 28. Or he's about to turn 28. I think this coming month, July.
Do you ever call him old? Because
all the time, dude. It's so funny. In the shop, in the shop, we're yo, don't ask Drew nothing. He's too old for this. Whenever we're working on a new design or something, don't ask Grandpa Drew, bro.
Damn, that's you.
I'm 28.
No, but yeah, it's because our structure it's Drew's the oldest, 28, and then it's Leo. He's born 4 or 5 months ahead of me in November.
So you're the baby.
From the 3 owners, yeah, but then we have our employees, which is we've had a few over the years now, but to name them all up, it's the Maris who we picked up when she was 18, 19 just to work the register. Right now she's our shop manager. She's just turned 21 in September.
What's her name?
Damaris.
Damaris, that's a cool name.
Damaris. No,
you like it or not?
Not for our daughter.
Oh, you're having a daughter?
No, not yet.
It's just if we were, speaking
into existence.
So we just throw names out there and shit.
Yeah, we'll just be throwing names.
Now the Marty, she's cool people. And then we've had Matt. He just turned like 19 this year. We picked him up like a year and a half ago. He doesn't work with us no more. Herb was working for us at a point.
That's cool.
Yeah,
wow.
Herb was working with us at a point. Like a year and a half, 2 years ago maybe. Matt was working with us, and Herb was probably the oldest one, but like, and they're like 18, 19 at the time.
Yeah.
Right now we have Fresco, Andrew. It's another.
That's
Andrew.
a cool name, Fresco.
It's not a name. It's
a nickname.
and he like we interviewed him because we hired him when we moved to the latest location back in July. So we hired him, or we interviewed him month and a half before opening up to kind of get settled in. And he's like, yeah, my name's Andrew. He's like, but they call me Fresco. And I was like, who called you Fresco? He's like, just a homie. I was like, all right. And I think he gave it to himself. I don't know, right?
He gave it to himself.
I mean, it's a cool nickname.
But like, it's stuck. Like, it's Fresco, right? He's 22, I want to say. And then Carlos is the baby of the shop right now. He's 19.
That's crazy.
Where are y'all located right now? Sorry, I didn't.
No, go ahead.
We're in Midtown. We're you know the Midtown strip, right? You know where the bars are. We're our address says Travis Street, but we're really on the Malam side.
Oh, okay.
Of the building. But yeah, we've been in Midtown since July. We jumped. Oh, I should probably get back into because it all comes like full circle. Yeah.
Okay.
But so we did that for 6 months. Like, yo, let's open the shop. Blah blah blah. Got really cool with Andrew. Decided me and Leo were practically begging Andrew because he loved the stuff, right? He loved doing the vintage stuff, but he like, you know, Andrew, since the jump, he was always supporting himself. Like, he has an older sister, but you know, his parents passed away early on, and so he put himself through school for the most part, and like he was working at O'Reilly at the time, and they were hoeing him, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna open this shop, and I kind of convinced him. At one point, I kind of convinced him, like, bro, quit O'Reilly if they're hoeing you so much.
Yeah.
I like, just focus on selling vintage for now until you find something better. And sure enough, he did it, and he was doing good. He maintained himself for like 4 or 5 months. I want to say, where he was just selling.
Yeah, but for the people listening, you got to realize this literally like maintaining himself.
No, yeah,
with reselling clothes.
No, we're talking about like gas, food, school.
That's wild.
Yeah, bills. Like, he was maintaining himself, and then he was telling me there was be weeks where he was making a lot more than what he was getting paid working at O'Reilly. So it was cool. That was cool. Then the conversation got to like, hey, me and Leo saved up a good amount of money, and we had another homie, Joseph. He owns Future Retro. We used to be partnered up. Okay. And we're like, yo, we're gonna get into doing this store. Like, hop in with us, Drew. And he's like, and Drew, just the way he is, he's real cool people, but he's always been a very negative person.
He's a negative Nancy.
Yeah, yeah, he is. He's always been like that. He's always been like, no, what if it works out? We're just gonna waste our money. We're just gonna waste our time. I'd rather focus on this, do this. I like, Drew, if we do the store,
he has a too realistic.
He's very realistic.
Yeah, very realistic.
And
which is good to have.
Yeah, it's good to have.
We're balanced, like between the three of us.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
we're
having something
balanced.
like that works.
I'm like the very optimistic, like, yo, we can do it. Let's fucking do it. And
he's like, let's go spend $50,000. We're gonna make 100.
No, not that crazy. I'm not that crazy, but I'm very optimistic. Like, if it makes sense and it's something we can do, let's do it.
Yeah.
Drew's very like realistic.
He needs a little bit more convincing.
Yeah, and then Leo's kind of like
in the middle.
He's right in the middle, dude. Like, Leo's so nonchalant. Like, at times you would think he doesn't care, but he's just very like chill. He's always been chill. He's a very chill person. So we convinced Drew to do it. Hop on. We opened up in May of 2019. We secured the spot. Literally, where hip hop was at, the original location at the graffiti building.
Yeah.
And that's why we weren't tripping. We literally got a spot a block over. And it was like, we're splitting it with Joseph at the time because we were sharing it because he focused more on the shoes. He's like, yo, let's like go in. I was like, yeah, why not? We ended up doing it. And we found this spot, and through like a connect of like his family members, this guy who had this building, rent came out to like $1,500 a month. It was a shitty spot. Don't get me wrong. It was mad sketchy. You don't want to go after like when it gets dark.
Yeah.
No windows. It was crazy. It was so weird. But it was a cool spot. Like we had so many good memories, so much fun times in there. So at the end of the day, we're coming out $750 just for rent. Obviously, we weren't tripping about like, you know, having to pay ourselves right away or something like that.
Because you all still had a job except
we all
Drew.
By that time, I think by that time Drew might have been interning.
Yeah, he was an intern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the companies that now.
Oh, okay.
But or maybe not.
Well, you all had something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had my family business. Leo, he's always worked like miscellaneous jobs. He was like at JCPenney, Best Buy. He was like a retail dude. Like he was working around. And
that's cool. That's cool.
And then he got into something else. I forget what exactly. And then Drew was interning. And then so we're like, yo, we make at the peak of hip hop, there'd be days 4,000 or 5,000 a day. Cause like we would
at hip hop,
and this is like peak hip hop, dude. It was like that's why we're like yo, we can make this store shit work. We're making this in a day. If we get anything that's plus from shit that we do at the shop it's extra, right? In our minds, because rent was so cheap, $750. So at the peak, man, we would have so much good stuff because like me, Leo and Drew, we would go and like source hard. This is back when we were like still like in there like sourcing hard
at the thrift,
at the rag houses.
Oh, at the rag house.
Yeah.
At the rag houses, and we'd come back with so much shit, pop up for the month, and then like the Japanese buyers would come through. People who had shops in like other cities, hip hop was starting to get recognition around. Like, yo, this is a really good market to come cash out. And we always had like for me, I feel like we had the really best shit at the really good price.
Oh, okay.
So that's why like
y'all had a lot of people come through.
Yeah, we would sell to like customers like, you know, 1, 2, 3 things, and then we would have like a wholesaler come through and cash out like on 100 items, and it would be crazy, right? So at the peak we're making like maybe like 4,000 or 5,000.
Oh my god.
At hip hop, and like that's what I'm saying. Like if it wasn't for us doing hip hop and making those kind of numbers, I mean, like I always give credit to Jesse and Lucia for putting on a good event, especially in that time, because it was like it was something new, right?
Yeah.
And nobody else was doing it, or at least not to like the way they did it.
Yeah, I think what was so good about, or what's good about hip hop is that they have I think Lucia said it, that they have like the vendors, but they also have like the entertainment. The vibe is there, you know?
It's really cool. But yeah, I always give credit to them. Like if it wasn't for them, for sure, the shop I would have never met Drew. The shop would never happen, or maybe not in its current iteration, right?
Yeah.
But I give them tons of credit whenever we get to like talking about it. But if it wasn't for them, like for also too, I know like I don't know how crucial it was in Fabricio opening up a store, but Fabricio was doing the events there before he had Roundhouse. Josh was doing it there before he had his thing. Area 52, Cameron and Chris were doing it their thing before they opened their shop. So like that was kind of like the gateway for a lot of like what it is today.
Yeah.
Of the people who are around from that time. It's all a lot of like the product of like being a part of the hip hop event, which was really cool because that was like kind of like the community that the vintage scene needed, at least in Houston, because there was nothing like it.
Yeah, I have a few questions that I was like, damn, you know, but so you would go to the thrift before. I feel like it's like tiers, right? So it's like, all right, everybody can go to the thrift, whatever, and then there's bins, but then there's like rag houses. How come everybody doesn't just go to the rag house?
Because it's not accessible to everybody. You have to spend money to be in there. Like they don't, like especially the few that we've been to that we were at very consistently. We were spending upwards to like $2,000 a week. It was getting crazy, like because there's so much good shit, and like with you can turn it over, right?
Yeah.
And it just they don't want just because
they don't want
they have a system. It's so like they. Like you would drive by it and you're like, man, what the fuck are they doing in there? This shit just fucking clothes all over the place. But they had like a system of like grading stuff, selling it off to wherever they were selling it to.
So they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
It's not just like
a
dump and stuff.
Yeah,
like
no. They know what they're doing. And like at the time too, we had like the day that because we would go like maybe an hour, 2 hours a day, but then like we'd get cool with the ladies who were like sourcing the clothes. Like we would tip them $100 every week. Like, yo, pull all this stuff, teach them kind of show them what we're looking for, and they would put it to the side for us. And then that would help out. So we would leave with like 600-700 pounds of clothing a week.
And do you buy it by the pound?
Yeah, rag houses work by the pound. Some rag houses that really know what the vintage thing is about, they'll sell it to you by the piece too. And but if you get to one of those, like you gotta have money to spend for real, because they're not stupid.
Yeah. So at like average price per piece when you take like 600-700 pounds.
Average price per piece. It depends, man. I never got into like I
like breaking it down like that.
I broke it down one time. I was like, oh, we're paying like $250, something like a shirt.
Yeah, like, so it's like if you go to the thrift.
But like I broke it down that one time. I'm like, oh, it's somewhere around there, right? And I never broke it down because
who does the finances?
Because real quick, because the profit margin is crazy.
No, yeah, like, if you get into one of those places and you're paying cheap, because we're paying when we first started, we were paying $4 a pound, and then it was really between us and some Japanese buyers that would buy like different things, but they would still like the stuff that we like, right? So it got to the point where like, oh, they kind of hit us with the Japanese people, they pay like $10-$12, you know,
a pound.
A pound. And they're like, yo, we kind of need to raise the price on you a little bit. And I was like, well, what were y'all thinking? And they hit us with like 8. We're like, nah, that don't make sense for us. And then we kind of negotiated to like 6, which I mean, honestly, like 6, 8, it's not too bad, especially at the time. We were getting really good stuff. Like you're getting $100 items, especially when the vintage scene was what it was. Mm-hmm. Like I think it's slowed down a lot compared to like, you know, when
do you feel like it's overrated?
Oversaturated.
I'm gonna answer both because I think it's a little bit of both. I think the oversaturation. I don't mind the oversaturation. I think it's good that there's a lot of people into it.
Yeah.
I think especially if you wanted to like kick off to like where like people are kind of like into vintage the way they're into like designer brands or like Supreme or like stuff like that. Like you want it to have that mainstream following, and with that mainstream following comes obviously you pay more as a buyer, but you sell more as a seller. So it's like it's a give and take, right?
Yeah.
The overrated, I found myself within the last year and a half just kind of like toning down my vintage stuff. I went from 400 or 500 pieces of like vintage clothing,
like personals,
like
oh this, my god,
yeah, it was, dude,
where were you putting all of this clothes?
At the crib, man. I have right now it's 2. I have a room just dedicated to like clothes, like just, and it's not like just thrown, it's like nicely hung up,
not like Terry. Like,
no, Terry throw this shit all over the place.
No, he said that when he started, he had piles of clothes. I don't know how it is now.
Everywhere.
Now, for me, I take care of all my clothes, especially if I'm into it.
Well, he said he loved clothes.
Yeah. So. And like all my stuff is hung, clean.
What does your girlfriend say?
I don't think she ever. She got into it for a little bit, but like hers, what she's into, she's not into like the streetwear style. She's more like it's so funny because like I love streetwear, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's vintage, whether it's like the homies brands, whether it's like Supreme, whether it's anything, right? And like I'll get her into it. Like I'd buy her things here and there, and I'm talking like $100 pieces. She'll wear it like one time, never touch it again. I'll buy her sneakers, stuff like that. I always try to like push it onto her, but
yeah, I feel like we went through the same thing. I've always wanted her to like wear like
me too, dude.
Nice shit, you know, because it just looks cool on a girl, you know. It's
fire, dude. Especially like I think the younger people are getting into it pretty good. Like for sure. Like I want to say like people around Matt's age, Herb's age, 20. Like that. Like my younger sister, she's 13 and she's really like. She doesn't know like history of what it is, but she likes the aesthetic. Like people are into the aesthetic. The aesthetic is sick. It's very cool. But I think like people from like 13 to like 21 right now, like that's your core the people that are really going in there for the vintage and like they just want the aesthetic. And then you have your hardcore collectors.
Do you feel like it's like a trend? Like,
I think there was a trend when it was at its peak, like when people were like hopping on lives and selling shirts for $1,500. I think that's where it got crazy.
Yeah.
I think right now it's just more like
it's slowed down.
I wouldn't even say that it's slowed down. I just think
people are realizing true value.
True value. I think the market just balanced out.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of like yeah, it's cool to have this shirt that can go for $1,000 because even I have a few of them still, but it's like I never wear them. And
why?
It's not. I don't know, man. I feel like me and Leo always have this conversation. It's like, bro, ya estamos grandes. Like, we can't be wearing.
Oh my God,
we can't be wearing these crazy all over prints with like a fucking NASCAR and a fucking T-Rex popping out. You can't do
it's kind of crazy.
You can't do it, bro.
But he wants to wear a Bar Baby shirt.
Is that's Slump, right?
Yeah, that's Slump Boys. Yeah, this Slump Boys. That's different. It's different. It's different. For me, it's different. But like, I feel like the vintage stuff was more like, I don't know. It definitely had that nostalgic feel to it, but like, some of it, like, I'll step back and I'll look at it, and I'll look back, like, I'll be like, oh, 2018 me would love this shit, right?
Yeah.
And then 2023 me like,
yeah, maybe because you've been in it and been doing it.
I think that's what it is too.
And you've seen a lot of it,
Yeah.
And that's when with Vintage Packs we were talking to them, and I feel like they were even saying like, yeah, we'll see it like a $2,000 shirt, and then just like chunk it in the back.
Yeah, because
they've seen
you get to
so
sit.
much of it.
Especially like Josh and them and us that we were in the rag houses so much, we would come across crazy things all the time. So you kind of get desensitized.
I was gonna ask you that if you were desensitized.
Because like I remember one of the last really crazy things we found was like this like 90s vintage Jesus tee with the lightning all over it. And we were hyped at the time. It was probably like an $800. I was hyped about it, but it was just like, oh, throw it in the bag. Whatever.
You know what's crazy? Like everybody that we've had, right? Like in the vintage community, I feel like everybody's desensitized.
Oh yeah, if you're about it, dude.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've never had a grill in my hands type shit, but I'm into it, so it's like just yesterday I found 3 hats, right? And it was like a Seattle Sonics hat, it was a San Francisco Giants, and the Charlotte Hornets, right? And when I found those hats, bro, I was like, man,
cool.
dude. I was hyped because I've never found shit like that. I go thrifting and shit, and I found good shit, but when I found them, I was like, all right, I like this shit.
No, he was so hyped that he called me, and I was taking I was taking a nap.
No, I was like, can you talk?
And then he faced.
I don't know what's wrong.
And then he calls me.
3 snapbacks, baby. This shit's crazy.
No,
we're up.
He said, "Don't fall asleep," and I was like, "Oh my God!" So then he shows up, and then he's like all hyped, and I'm just like, "That's cool." Like,
no, when I started on and I first found my first couple things, I was the same way. But like you're around it so much, it's like it's not.
It's just like
And like now too, it's funny because like I feel like the community right now, you got your people who are really into it. Like I'm still very into it, but I don't have the same like passion for it.
You feel like you're into in the business, like
I mean, yeah, it's more like, especially now we've had the shop 4 years. We made 4 years in May.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's dope.
And like it's so long.
Oh shit, my bad.
You're good. It's so long. It's like, it's still cool, like when cool things walk in, but it's not like, oh, I want to take it home for myself.
Yeah. Well, not if you have 400, 500.
Well, no, I chilled out a bit. I got down to like about 200 maybe.
With that being said, let's go on a quick break and we'll be back.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
And we are back. Sorry, babe. I always don't let you put your headphones on.
I know. I'm like racing and shit.
So, where are you from? Where did you grow up?
So I grew up on the east side of Houston. Went to North Shore. Met Leo. North Channel, which is right there off Wallaceville.
Oh, you graduated from over there?
Yeah, we went to North Shore High School, both of us. But yeah, that's East Side.
Oh, okay.
East Side, real East Side.
You grew up speaking Spanish?
Dude, no.
No?
I was like a No Sabo kid.
I was about to say, are you a No Sabo
Yeah, because you spoke Spanish earlier. So.
I was, but I think, especially like doing construction and like me being, like I've picked up a lot better. I've improved so much.
Oh my God, not from the construction guys, right?
Dude,
you'll
definitely.
Be cussing over here. How do you?
Nah, I don't be cussing, but just you know what it is. Most construction people are Hispanic,
Hispanics,
so you communicate in Spanish. And mostly everybody in the business over there with us is Spanish. Everybody, so kind of like in a position to like pick it up really better. And even now, like I'll call somebody up to do something or check in on something, and like I'll be good, and then every now and then I'll have like a slip up. I'm like, oh shit, let me fix that. And then you try to fix yourself, but
yeah. Like today, my dad paired me up with this new guy that we have, and he speaks nothing but Spanish, bro. And I was like, I mean, I'm good with my Spanish, like I'm real fluent, and but with him it's like, all right, I literally can't. He won't understand a single word if I say anything, But he's young. He's your age, right? I said that earlier. Yeah. He's your age, so. And so we were just talking, and I'm just like, though I was telling her right before you got here, I'm like, man, I put myself to the test today. I was pretty good. I was pretty good,
You need
like,
to, man. Especially like you just. I would imagine it's the same with any other language, but like I've always spoken it. I've always understood it very well too. But when I would try to speak it, it would come out very rough.
Yeah.
Very choppy, very stuttery. Unsure. So no, I've improved a lot.
Yeah, I'm excited because I'm supposed to like homeschool our son. We have a son, and but it's gonna be like a Spanish.
Oh really?
Yeah, like over the summer.
Do y'all speak to him in Spanish already?
Yeah, I mean he tries to like
mimic
speak in Spanish like more. Like,
that's the reason why I want to do it. He's gonna be 5 in July. 5. Yeah, but he is picking it up a little bit more. The only reason I want to focus on it because I know that he wants to learn it. Like,
no, I think it would be good.
He'll say something. He's like, "Did I make español?" And I'm just like, right?
Yeah.
But
he used to get excited. He'd be like, "I make español."
Yeah,
right?
he'll be like, "I make español." I'm just like, "Oh my God."
That's pretty funny.
So,
the other day when he was like, I go to sleep. Am I gonna go to sleep? And I'm like, yeah, in a little bit. I told him in a little bit, and then he's like, un ratito, right? But I didn't understand what he was saying, and I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah. And then you came, and you're like, no, he said un ratito, like, and I'm like, oh shit, he's in Spanish, I was like, oh shit,
he's picking it up.
So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, because I'm like the Spanglish queen, man. Like I'll mix my English and Spanish, like.
Yeah, I think that's why I never really like picked it up because my pop. He speaks majority Spanish, but like he speaks English, but it's
choppy.
Like choppy.
It's Mexican immigrants
English.
So where are your parents from?
My mom's from here, Mexican American, first generation.
Okay.
And then my pop is from Zacatecas. So
Zacatecas is like deep down, right?
Not too far. It's like
I would say
more like middle.
Oh, okay. What's like the state?
Well,
it's Zacatecas?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
The pueblo he's from is San Alto.
So. Oh, okay.
Have you ever been over there?
Yeah, bro. Last time I went to... No, well, not last time, but the last time I went over there to visit family and whatnot, probably like 2012.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, something like that. It's been a while. But it's weird because, like, my pops always talk about going back, but he like, yo, you and your sisters aren't going. Like, if we go, it's going to be me and your mom because some places are still bad. And
yeah.
He's a little worried.
We might go in 2 weeks.
Where?
Well, our pueblo is Santa Polonia.
His pueblo.
Yeah. And it's she's not Mexican.
Because I'm not. Not? So I was like, yours, not mine.
But it's like I always say like, oh, our spot, whatever. But yeah, it's in Tamaulipas. So.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's literally like right there.
You ever seen the trucks that say like TAMPs on it?
Of course.
Yeah, like
you don't miss them.
Yeah.
Fat ass TAMPs. And it has like the Mexico flag in the letters. Yeah. All right, man.
But yeah, so I don't know. we might go. I don't know.
Yeah.
But my son, he just said he wanted to go, so we're like,
yeah, because we have we do a toy drive, and that's what the jersey's about. It's like we sponsored their baseball team, and it's called Alegres Milagros. So every January we take like 200, 300 toys over there. So my son's always like excited to go, you know,
for the toys.
Yeah, because I'm proud of him. He don't really keep any, you know. Well, he doesn't keep any. But he likes to go to give them out because he's a part of it, you know.
That's nice.
Yeah, he was yelling at some kids last time.
He's like,
it's like,
¿cuál quieres?
Yeah, well, he was like, which one do you want? And then I'm like, in Spanish, I'm like, diles, ¿cuál quieres? And he's like, ¿cuál quieres? They're just like, what? Like, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. So, well, what about your dad speaks Spanish, right? What about your mom?
My mom, she speaks both really well, but she's majority English. And I think
that's why you're majority
English.
English.
For sure. Because like I said, like my pop, or how I was saying, my pop got over here at 14. He just got to work, kind of tried to, you know, hustled it out. And then the majority of the time I was with my mom, because she was like, my mom was a teacher, so I went to the same elementary school as her, and then she became an AP.
How does that feel? How did that feel for you? Was it cool or would it not?
Dude, I was bad.
You were embarrassing your mom?
Dude, she was a teacher, at this time she was a teacher, at a school, and I was like, it was like kindergarten or something, first grade, and I was in another class because they didn't want. I guess my mom didn't want me to like have the, you know, favoritism.
You were in the same grade level as your mom.
Yeah, but my mom was she's always been like, yeah, no, don't give him to me, like put him somewhere else so he could like apply himself.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I got in trouble. I was doing some bullshit. I was in first grade, and I was in there with some friends in the restroom, because the restrooms had like, they were like, I think they were like attached in the
classroom.
rooms.
Yeah,
they were cool. And so like we went, and I was in there, and I was like standing on the sink, and then like the teacher walked in one time. The teacher walked in, and I don't know. This is what I remember. The teacher walked in, and like I had undid my pants, and I was sitting on the sink, and I put like the faucet down my pants.
Oh my!
And my homie was like, I'm gonna turn it on, and I got stuck, and I couldn't get out. And my teacher came in, and then they told my mom, and I got D-Hall. I was in detention because my mom, she was never like even though I was her son, like she never like thought like, oh, just because you're my son and I work here, I'm gonna put you over, you know, what another student would do. So,
yeah,
she was very real, and then she worked her way up, became a assistant principal there for a while, and then my youngest sister was born, and then she runs her own daycare now. So
your mom?
Yeah, she kind of applied, but she went to school. She graduated. Yeah. My dad dropped out 7th grade from Mexico, came over here and worked, and started the construction company. And yeah, kind of hustled it out. So
that's crazy. I work at a school too, but I never wanted to be in my son's class either.
I would imagine.
But not because he's bad. Just because I didn't.
I was a bad kid. Like, I was a bad kid. I was always doing stupid shit. But I always, like I said, like, I don't know if it was because, like, and my mom would be like, oh, you're gonna make me look bad. I'm a teacher. And like, I don't know. Like I was saying earlier, I don't know if we were talking on the camera or not, but I've always been very rebellious. Like, I don't like conforming to, since I was little. I hate conforming to like what people think or stuff like that. It's never been.
Are you closer to your mom or your dad? Don't go hurting feelings now.
No, I don't think. I think right now I talk to my dad more, but the reason I talk to my dad more is more for the company.
Because you work with him.
Yeah. But I don't see him every day. I see him, like, he popped up on me on the job site random as hell yesterday. And I was like, bro, what are you doing here? Like, this ain't your territory. You need to get out of here. And so I see my dad more. I feel like I'm very emotionally attached to both of them a lot. Like, my mom, because she's good people. She's always been one to look out for, like, my interest.
Yeah.
And me, my dad always being the worker. I've always idolized my dad, you know.
Yeah.
For what he's done. So, I don't know. I wouldn't say... My mom's always complaining, like, yo, you don't come around no more. I miss you. Come see me. I'm like, dude, it's hard. I'm like...
You know, for a second, I feel like I forgot that you don't live with them.
Yeah, I don't live with them.
Yeah.
So
the reason I ask is because I feel like you give me... Like, I feel like I'm looking at you and I see our son in an older version.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I hope not, man.
No, not the bad side. Like, because I feel like my son is, like, attached a little bit more to me. But, man, he loves the both of us.
No, yeah, for sure. Like, especially, too, like, my dad was working. And early on, my mom was just a teacher, right? So, I was a majority of the time with my mom. And then it got to a point where my mom went back to school to get higher education to become an assistant principal. Mm-hmm. And then at that time, she was going to school hardcore, and I was staying with my grandma for days. Or not days, but like, I'll drop me off in the morning, pick me up at night type stuff. Pick me up from school. I'm at my grandma's till my mom picks me up. And my dad was always just working. Mm-hmm. And it was weird because, like, especially like during that middle school, high school, like, and that, I don't know, I have such like pride in my parents because like they would go see a couple games, like I would go play soccer, I'd be in a baseball team, but they were working, so like I would catch rides with like my homie from down the street because we were always on the same team, and I would feel like, man, you know, it'd be cool if my parents were, but they were always working. Mm-hmm. And like the time you're like, dude, like you couldn't come watch me, you get butthurt, right? But then you look back and you see what they've done, and like it's for the benefit of the family, right? So you're like, oh, you kind of appreciate it a lot more. Because I would imagine it's a lot harder to go to a job to like than rather go watch, you know, your son play a game, you know?
Yeah, especially back then, I feel like it wasn't normalized. Even now, it's barely, I feel, but back then it was completely like not normal for the parent to leave work to go do something that, especially the dad, you know.
And my dad, what I was telling you earlier, my dad had trucks, and then he got this Katrina job after Hurricane Ike hit, and he saved up some money from that, put his concrete crew together, started up the construction business like 2011. It's been going pretty strong ever since. So.
Props to your dad and your mom.
No, and my mom, like I said, she went back, graduated. She got her master's in education. That took her like another 2 years. And, dude, when I was little, I was a little fat boy because nobody was cooking, bro.
Fast food and shit.
It fucked us over, man. I was a little fat boy, but no, like I said, like you go through it, right? And you don't think much of it, but you look back and you kind of appreciate, like, you know, everything they went through. Because, like I said, like, yeah, they do it for themselves, but at the end of the day, if you're a parent and you genuinely love your kids, you're doing it for your kids. You want to give stuff to your kids to have it better than what you've had.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like that's the ultimate goal. Like, of course, you know, as a parent.
Yeah, because growing up, it was the same thing. So it's like my mom never worked like that, you know. So it's like
your mom's never worked.
Yeah, she did. She worked at Los Toros
for like less than a month.
Bro, she would like.
Bro, she's gonna watch this and she's not gonna.
Now she knows.
I'd
be calling her out on it.
No.
She would like organize the vegetables and stuff, and then she'd come with an apron. She'd come home with an apron, and she'd like, I'm like, you have money for us? And she'll dig in. She'll like, oh, I got some like quarters and stuff, change and stuff. Like, hell yeah, you know. I thought that was pretty cool, but damn, it's crazy that my mom worked.
Technically, she works now, but as like
under like the company. Oh, what do you
I
mean?
do that for your dad.
I do that too.
But no, she technically works now as like our babysitter, so she's good.
Yeah. No, but I was gonna say like, so my mom was always there, but my dad, you know, he was working. So it's like, but now for our son, I think we just both took like something from our childhood, and it's like we're both just there for him all the time. And sometimes I'm like thinking like, I mean, I don't think it's bad, right? Like it can never affect him in a bad way. Do you think?
Or I don't think so. I think as long as, like me, I appreciate what I went through, because like, you know, what
you understood it, right?
Like, what you go through, not only just like the whole parent thing, but like just as a person growing up, you know, whatever you go through, whether it's like good or bad, like it ultimately makes you who you become. Yeah. So like I've done some fuck ups pretty bad back in the day. I'm not gonna get into any of them, but like looking back, I was like, you know, I don't regret it. Like you learn from it and try to be better. So,
but you know how you said it's not bad that we're both there for him. I what were you gonna say?
I don't think it's. I don't know. Like you don't want to.
Spoil him.
Yeah, you don't want to. I think you need to give him. I don't know, because I don't have no kids, right? But like I grew up.
No, dude.
No, I raised my little sister a little bit, so
yeah.
I feel like as long as they're like well disciplined.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Crazy.
Because you would what were you gonna say?
Because I was gonna say, from coming from like the child, like I was raised by my grandparents, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, once my grandparents passed away, I feel like it was like, damn, I gotta grow up, you know. Yeah. So then, from figuring I really do think that whatever your parents do, you know, whether it's good or bad, at the end of the day, you take that experience and you think about yourself and think whether it's gonna, if it's a bad experience, is it gonna affect you in a good way or a bad way, right? Mm-hmm. So we grow up and we have to look at it put ourselves first and be like, okay, is it gonna benefit me if I act out or is it not? Yeah. You know? And I feel like with our son, I do love that we're both there. Mm-hmm. And I feel like because he is very aware that if I'm there, it's either because he's at work, you know? But discipline does matter.
No, for sure.
So I feel like with Milo, it's just like today in the morning, he woke up. Yesterday was his last day of school. Mm-hmm. So he woke up today. And the first thing he does is he goes into his office and he looks for him. Like, because he thinks he's working, right? Because he's not in the bed. So then I'm just like, oh, Papi's working. And today in the morning, he started crying. Like, he genuinely, missed him. He's like, he's not working here? And I'm like, no, he's not working here. So I had to text you, like, oh, he's, like, upset that you're not home. But it's just that to me, it just showed me, like, damn, he does know, like.
He cares. Yeah, for sure.
Or, like, the podcast.
Yeah, for sure, he cares.
Like, this is work for him, you know? Like, we've done it with him here, except when we have guests. Or like Roland has his office and he knows that that's his work area. So I feel like the discipline is there.
Yeah, it's there. Because I know, like, I guess I'm looking, obviously they're movies, right? But I look at movies where the kids are spoiled and shit, you know, where it's like,
they don't turn out.
Fuck this food or whatever. I don't know, some shit. And then the dad's like, okay, what do you want?
No,
you know, like,
never.
nah. So it's not like that. Like,
I don't think that
so
happens
with us, like,
Hispanic.
we gift them stuff. We like we're there for him for his events and stuff like that, but at the same time, in the same day, I could fucking get on his ass, bro. Like if he's like acting up or something, so he knows.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, I would act out, and my mom would tear my ass up, and then like my dad, he never, like I would get spankings, right, and well deserved. I'm not gonna, well deserved, but my dad, just the presence of my dad and me, like always looking up to him, and, like he came in like, yo, what are you doing? Like, chill. I'm chill. Like, whatever he says.
I'm good.
I remember one time, my mom was telling him about something I did as a kid, and he came up to me, and he just, with the look, I started crying. I was like, fuck, he's gonna fucking kill me, dude. I'm gonna fucking die today. But just a stern talking to. That's all I ever needed from him.
But also, I feel like you have tons of respect.
Oh yeah, no.
And that's why that works though.
Yeah, no. It's like I feel like that's like with you and your parents too. Like,
yeah, no, my dad's the same shit, and then I feel like Milo looks at me the same way.
Yeah. So I think it's a good dynamic.
Yeah, like my son does this thing.
That's the goal of a dad, man.
He does this thing that he'll be like, and I'm just like, dude, stop! Like, we don't even hit you, bro. Like, for you to go like, and he's so scared. Like, he
imagine in public and shit. He goes like this. Oh hell no, we're in trouble.
No, he did that today at his mom's house. We were there, and I was dropping him off, and I was giving them pupusas, and he was eating pupusas, right? Uh-huh. And then I was like, he did something. He's like, oh man, and he dropped to the floor, a berrinche, and I'm just like, bro, you're not gonna do that here. Yeah. And then his mom's
tends to do that shit at my parents' house
because
they're the grandparents.
Yeah, because they spoil.
They spoil him.
They spoil him. So then he did that, and I'm just like, get up. And then his mom's like, it's okay, you can eat a sandwich. I'm like, no, he's gonna eat a pupusa because he's gonna eat a pupusa. Like, you know,
you just want him to be Salvadoran so bad, man.
He's ate them before, but he shows up there and he'll snack on anything and everything, which I don't care, because it's like, it's your grandparents' house, enjoy it, right? And then I told his mom, I'm like, nah, like, he eats, you know, he ate half of it.
Nah,
no doubt, like, nothing, like, he just ate it. Like,
my mom always says that. She's like, don't think this parent shit easy. You're like, whenever you have kids, we're gonna spoil the fuck out of them. And I'm like, oh. And I always say like, hell no, you ain't gonna do none of that.
Yeah.
And like, no, we're gonna spoil the same way your grandparents treated you. We're gonna treat you.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Once you have a kid, you'll know. I feel like a lot of the young this generation now, it's very not. A lot of us are very involved in our kids' lives.
Yeah. No, I want to be too, for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
so.
Like, whenever I do, like, I want to, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it'd be, because, like for me, it's more of, like, you know, like, you learn from your parents, and, like, oh, they couldn't be there for my games, I'm going to be there for my kid, right? You want to, like, take on, you want to, I think the ultimate thing, too, is, like, your experiences, you want to provide better experiences for your kids.
Yeah.
You don't want to give them the world. You don't want to have a spoiled kid, but you want a little better than what you had.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Hopefully that's the goal, right? But
yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't have no kids. It sounds hard. It sounds scary. I have a dog, and I think about the dog, and I think about, like, bro, a baby is like, dude, that's insane.
It's way different.
You know, our dog passed away, like,
oh no,
a month ago.
Probably a month ago, yeah. About
like a month and a half ago. And our son has been missing her a lot lately.
Does he understand that concept of she's no longer here?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we were gonna, because we had to put her down because she had cancer. She had, like, crazy big tumor, bro.
And she couldn't walk anymore.
Yeah, so I was like...
She was older?
Yeah, she was...
2014.
That's when she was born.
So, like,
70 dog years? 70, 80?
Each year is, like,
7?
Yeah.
And yeah, he's like been missing her a lot lately. So he has our son. I think he is disciplined, and we're like, no, sit down. You're not gonna act a fool. He'll sit down, you know. Yeah. And he knows right from wrong. So I feel like for his age, he's pretty good. And he got, like, in his class, they had, like, a treasure box. So he got this bracelet, the ones that snap, and then they just, dude. You know? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Of course.
Yeah, so then he got that one. But then he got one that was, like, with paw print, right?
No.
Yeah.
And then he went and he put it over there where we have her little print. I was like... And then one time he started crying at night, and he's like, I miss Mila. I'm just like... Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, but
he does understand
the concept. He understands, and I had him so I had talked to, like, the vet, and then she was like, you know, you can have him in here. Well, the nurse or the whatever, she was like, I wouldn't recommend it, you know, but if you do bring him in, you have to explain to him, like, what's happening. Yeah. So it's like, and I told her, I'm like, yeah, we can have him in here, fuck it, you know. And then the vet comes in, she gives the okay. But just say, like, and I was looking shit up, and it would say, like, you have to say, like, she died. Like, you can't say, like, oh, she's going to heaven. Like, you have to heaven. Yeah, you know. But then right before they, like, put her to sleep, I kind of, like, I was like, you know what, maybe he shouldn't be in here. But I still explained to him, you know.
Yeah, because he went in, we were in there, and then we walked out. Me and him walked out. You know, we said our goodbyes. He stayed in. And then he came out without her. So then he was like, oh, and then he had to tell him, like, okay, she died. And he's like, Dios, heaven to him is Diosito, right? He's like, oh, she's with Diosito? And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, she died? And then, like, he'll just say it so bluntly, right? Like, yeah. But that's parenthood for you.
Yeah.
So think about that.
But with that being said, we're going to go and take a quick break.
Okay. And we are back. Sorry, we just gave you some parent life lessons, you know, in case you're ready to have a baby.
Nah.
But it'd be cool, though, if you think about it.
Nah, of course. Because
you'll have your baby.
I would want one. Especially
at the store.
I would want a boy too, but
I see a lot of memes that where like people are just like, when I'm having a bad day or some shit like that, and then I think that people my age have kids. So it's like, and they just trash the parents, like, or people that have kids. But I'm like, man, bro, like,
I've never seen that.
You never seen this? Yeah, it's always like, fuck them kids, hashtag fuck them kids type
I've
shit.
Said that a couple times. Never that.
But honestly, bro, like once I always see those, not that I always see them, but when I see them, I'm like, once you have a kid, that your mentality is gonna change. Like that's just gonna fuck.
That's what everybody says, man. Once you have a kid, it's like you don't live for yourself no more.
Let me just tell you this, so we can end the parent talk, right?
All right.
A kid's love is the most genuine love you're ever gonna get. Just know that, because a kid's heart is so pure. They don't know like.
Oh yeah.
Betrayal, or they don't know none of that.
Yeah, everything I ever heard about having a kid, it has been true. Like, oh, once you have your kid, bro, like that it's a whole nother motivation. Like it's like a whole nother reason to live and all this shit, right? And then another thing that I hear too is that guys that are like girl dads, they're like, bro, yeah, you have a son, that's cool and everything, but once you have a girl, that's your princess, bro, and all this shit, right?
Imagine.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, damn, I wonder if that's true,
Yeah.
Like that's one thing that I feel like once that happens, if it happens, like I'll see, like, all right, it's facts, But man, yeah, that's a lot of parent talk.
That was enough.
for a vintage pod.
It's a lot of parent talk for a guest with no kids.
I know. Sorry.
But I wanted, I had a question, and I told you I was gonna ask you, but like, why do you think the shop keeps getting broken into?
I think especially this is the reason. Every time we've gotten broken into, they don't come for the vintage, because we carry streetwear stuff too. We carry sneakers. We have Supreme, Babe, V-Lone, some designer stuff here and there, and the sneakers. So usually when we do get broken into, that's what they try to go for. But like, it's very like, especially at the new shop, it's very like pointless to me, I think. Because it's like, okay, if you get in, you're not going to get in through the back. You can't get through the back door. The back door is pretty well secured.
Mm-hmm.
And now what we've done, because the last break-in, they did manage to take a 40 pieces of streetwear stuff, about like $5,000 worth of inventory, which, I mean, it happens, right? And we have insurance, but we really haven't used it, because we never felt like it
was worth like a claim.
Yeah, like if it's a hit that's like a lot of money, because you're gonna put down $1,000 deductible, right? And I think I don't know what's the deal on our insurance, but I know we're covered for X amount, depending on what it is. But like for us, it's like, yeah, it hurts, but it's like, it is worth putting the claim out.
Yeah.
What if something worse happens down the road, right? So like, if we can sustain,
then
we will.
How many times has it happened?
Dude, we've been open 4 years. We've been broken into 5 times. 5 attempts. Yeah.
Attempts?
Well, I think 3 is when they really got in and did some damage, and then 2 were like,
they tried
bullshit. Yeah.
Does that unmotivate y'all, or how do y'all keep going?
From
that, like,
honestly, at this point, just it's like the cost of doing business. Like when you carry like what you carry, especially as like the higher end stuff like Supreme or V-Lone or Babe or even the sneakers, like you're gonna attract somebody who can think they can get in there, get the stuff, and then go sell it for more,
Yeah.
Or some people, like we've seen people that just rock it themselves too, like that's happened.
So y'all think y'all know who it might be and stuff or not?
I mean, I don't think a lot of people know this, but like between the stores, like all the stores, it's like now it's probably like 15, 20 stores. We're all in this group chat. Anything suspicious happens, any break-ins,
they'll tell each other.
Yeah, everybody knows. Everybody's on the lookout for suspects, but like
like if somebody goes to steal from yours and resell over here.
Well, yeah, stuff like that too. But like we've had people like like the store in San Antonio. They'll put these guys just try to walk in and take shit and run out. but we stopped them. This is what they look like. This camera, and bro, like we got some. Like I've never been one to do it because I don't have time for it, right? But like we got some detectives in that chat, like pulling up Instagrams, fucking past cases if they got them.
I mean, you wouldn't be surprised, man. Some people be having some good FBI skills.
And then like there's been times too where they'll send out a message, a store in Houston, like, yo, these guys just try to like walk in and take some shit or some shit like that, right? And they'll be like, just be on the lookout. And then sure enough, 30, 45, 2 hours later, they show up. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Usually when something like that happens, I kind of just, the building has 24/7 security, so I'll give the security guy a heads up. He'll come stand by the door on the outside. I'll stand like on the inside if I'm there, or one of the employees will. But I always tell the employees too, it's not worth you getting hurt. Like if they're gonna take something, or God forbid, they pull a weapon on you, like let them take it. Like we got insurance, it's cool. But I don't know. It's like whenever you carry that type of stuff, it just naturally attracts that type of attention. So
yeah. Dang, that's unfortunate, right?
Yeah.
Like
it is, but it's like it's just the cost of doing business. That's the way you gotta look at it at this point, cause
you can't let it affect you too much, right? Emotionally, I guess.
No, that's cool. And then like whenever we do get broken into, I feel like the shop's built a pretty good community of people who like genuinely support the shop. So like, we'll put like a post, and then the next day,
people
next
pull
2-3 days, people pull up, cash out. Sorry, this happened. Talk to some homies. But I mean, it's always, it's just part of doing business.
Yeah.
Dang.
Man, that's pretty wild.
It's crazy.
Like, I think if it was me, I'd be like, damn, man. Like,
no, it sucks, bro. Especially like the bigger ones. But it's like, I don't know. It's like I've never been one to like yeah, it sucks. But it's like, well, you're gonna fucking sulk about it for a week or what?
And that's why they always bounce back.
Oh, dude, I remember. Oh man, I remember the first time we got broken into. We put it on the gram, and they're like, "Oh, y'all bounce back for a reason." They're like, "Bro, we had no idea that was gonna." Like, bro, like to me, I think it's funny, cause like I'm like I think I'm a funny dude, but like to me, and like I don't know, like. That's kind of corny, bro. Like, don't be saying that.
Damn, baby, you just called you corny.
No, I said it because it is corny.
That's what they do. They'll be like, y'all bounce back for a reason. They'll put like the strong arm emoji.
Oh my god,
it's so funny. But
so talking about like, everything. What about the events?
The events.
Damn, we didn't even get into that, right? Like, piece by piece.
Yeah, piece by piece. We started that. I think we just had our 2-year in February. We started that at the garage, was the original location, but by that point we felt like we garnished a good amount of following on social media, and like we're really cool with a lot of the people in the vintage community, and we just like, we did one thing in front of the shop one time, and this was like when we were on the Washington Street location. We had like maybe like 10 vendors. Yeah. And it popped off, like it was crazy, right? And we had some people telling us, oh, maybe I should do like another event. And we thought about it, and we were like, damn, man.
It whistles. I don't know.
I was like,
maybe it was a bad idea.
I know, like, why would you pull it out like that?
It's because I got thirsty, but
we did that first one. We called it the pop up, and then we were like, oh no, we can do a bigger event, because we had like genuine interest from like a lot of the vendors, a lot of people in the vintage community. Yeah. So we at the time we were at the Washington location. Right there by where the old Standard used to be, that bar. Like we're like right around that building, and we thought about it. We played with the idea, brainstormed it out. Like if we do it, we could book vendors, pay the venue fee. As a business wise, it made sense. You can make a little profit for hosting an event, right? So we did it. Got in contact with the people from the garage. And we did the first one, and it went really well.
Do you feel like y'all's profit obviously comes from the vendor fees?
It comes from the vendor fees, but like when it's an event like that, like we'll shut down the shop. This like bounce back is at piece by piece.
Okay, so you'll be selling there as a vendor.
Yeah. And like, you know, we did the first one, and like we're pretty cool with like Paul and some other people, and you know, Cedar from Slum Boys, who has his fucking cult following, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's killing his shit. Him and his lady, they do a great job.
Yeah, shout out Slump, man.
Yeah. Well, have you tried reaching out?
Yeah, we're working on something, so that's cool.
No, yeah, those are for sure the homies. But yeah, like we reached out to them. We reached out to Paul. Paul posted up, and like when we had our first one, we had a line of like 400, 300 people just wanting to get into the event.
Damn.
And then they took off like that, and then we did that podcast with H-Town Happy Hour, and he was like, because he was like, yo, like, what are y'all doing? Like, this is cool. I'm like, oh no, like there's some other events in the city that do pretty well, and it's like, you know, we just kind of wanted to switch it up. We kind of make it, because everything at the time was more like outside, and it was like summer was coming up, and the vendors always just like being in the heat. Because it's work, it's a grind.
Yeah.
Because we did it for a while, and it was a grind. And you know, you get hot, sticky, or irritated, fucking burnt. So we found the garage, did it there, got cool with Derek, and we do it every like 3 or 4 months, something like that. Sometimes, depending on like what's going on, maybe we'll move it up or we'll move it back. But
right now y'all are doing them at Post, right?
At Post, yeah. We I don't remember when we did the first one at Post, but it's been a while already, I think.
Oh, yeah?
It's been about a year. Like, we're right when Post opened up, probably like a month after they opened up.
I didn't even know about Post like that.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. The reason we knew about Post is because Derek was like, yo, we're going to change the garage into something else, but we're working on this thing. You know, like, this is going to... He was telling, like, this is going to be the shit. People are going to love it. Like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to have like a sky lawn. We're going to do this. And we're like, where at? The old UPS building, the USPS building. Like, what the fuck are y'all going to do there? Right? So, and then they put it together. And I went out around like the first week it opened. It was just crawling with people. And it was like, dude, this is sick. Like, it's fire. It's like the aesthetic of the building itself, the industrial shit. I've always been a fan of stuff like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's where we did our first pop-up as a podcast.
Yeah.
We did it with Mania, right?
Yeah. Oh.
What was Mania and...
DFW.
Yeah, DFW.
DFW.
And then... that's when our setup was couches.
Bro, we carried them big-ass couches. Oh, well, no, they were in the in
this
the
couch, and then the one in the living room is 2 of them.
Oh.
Well, he carried them.
No, but yeah, Post is a sick location, but... You know, I don't know if it's gonna be around forever for what we do. So, because I was talking to Derek, and they're talking about like, you know, they want to do some more stuff. They want to get maybe some retail in there. They want to do
because their space is like just open space.
Yeah, right now, like that bottom floor where we did the
pop up.
Yeah, where we do the piece by piece. That bottom floor, it's like those 4 or those 3. They're like more like art exhibits or like museum exhibits.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it. When there's not an event, this is just empty space.
It is, but I know they're getting a decent amount of people that are like moving. Like, that's another thing that he was telling me they want to do. That they wanted to like put like offices in there and get like companies in there and do this and the other. And it's cool. Like, I think it would be dope. I don't know if you've ever been to like working in construction. Have you ever been to like the Houston Permitting Center?
Mm-mm.
Well, like they have it's like an older building, and it's very industrial like that, and they converted it to like office space, and it's a cool vibe for like a company that, you know, wants to attract people.
Yeah, because
they have all that food down there.
Yeah,
that people want to get.
Because we paint like commercial stuff, so we're always in downtown, and then I feel like whenever I go into certain buildings, like the offices that we work in, they're kind of like that, or they have like exposed columns.
Yeah,
it's just like it's cool, you know.
I've always been a fan of stuff like that.
It'll be like glass like offices, and then like concrete ceilings and shit. And
that's
I'm like,
fire.
it's
I've
clean.
always been a fan of stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's cool.
It's kind of what we wanted to do with the shop, is just make it very like minimalistic, kind of industrial. Like if you walk in, it's like concrete floor, white walls, exposed ceiling, iron pipe racks, wood.
You want it to be like you. I've always wanted a space where you can take a picture at any spot and it looks cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Like cool photo ops and shit.
Post is fire. I don't know how much longer it's gonna be available for people to be doing the kind of events we do.
So
what about the second floor?
The second floor is cool, but that's stuff that they want to convert into office space.
Oh, okay. I see.
And then the bottom, I think they want to make it more like retail or like boutiques.
Yeah.
Okay. So how hard was it for y'all to like? I mean, was it fairly easy like to get people to join y'all? Because when we had Jesse and Lucia, they said that when they started, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna do this thing," and they had to kind of try to convince them to like join.
Yeah. Honestly, man, for us, it was just like.
Well, I think you said people were already, the first one y'all did, people were already like wanting to join.
Yeah, but the first one.
I thought that was a line.
That was a line, but we had people that would tell us like, "Yo, y'all should do a bigger event."
Yeah.
Okay.
And then one of the homies told me too about the garage, and that's how we found out about it. But like the way we announced it, like we're like, "Yo, we're gonna do this event." Kind of explain what we're aiming for with the event. It's not gonna be just like a vintage. It's not gonna be just like a sneaker. It's not gonna be just. We wanted kind of like a mixture, because we feel like, you know, you have your sneaker con, and then you have hip hop, which is more focused towards like the vintage, and then you kind of wanted a mixture.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, yo, we're gonna do this event, and we wanted to be able to like appeal to all streetwear fashion, whether it's vintage, whether it's sneakers, whether it's hype, whether it's design, or whether it's local brands, whether it's whatever. And we did that, and like first day we probably had like 40 spots, sold them out. It was cool.
Oh, wow. What's y'all's vendors fees, if you don't mind me asking?
They vary right now. I think, I don't know, I don't handle this no more. Damaris handles it.
Okay.
I think, bro, when we started out, it was like maybe like 125, something like that, and would be open from like 12 to like 8 or 7 for the event. Right now though, I think they're like 175, 150 on the cheap end to like 250, and then if you want like a sponsored booth, which is like a bigger booth, it gets up to like 350.
Dang.
Yeah, and then it's pretty cool.
So I'm assuming Damaris is the one that helps y'all organize that.
At first it was just me, and then like Damaris kind of like, that's the cool thing with Damaris. We picked up Damaris because, you know, we're like, oh yo, it's a shop full of dudes in here, bro. Like, we gotta make it comfortable for the girls that do want to come by. Whether
that is true.
Yeah,
and that's kind of was the goal, right? And we had a couple interviewing processes, and the whole idea for the Mari, like, yo, she's just gonna work the register, just, you know, nothing crazy. We're not gonna ask too much.
I'll be welcoming and stuff.
Yeah, just you know, just so it's like a vibe where like a girl walks in, it's not like fucking 4 dudes and 2 girls just shopping around, right? And so she was just doing the register for a year, or it was about like 6-7 months, and then she left, and then she came back. She was gone for like a month or something, and then she came back, and then she kind of like, that's the cool thing about the Mari, bro. I love her, dude. She's like a little sister. That's the cool thing about her is like, she took initiative to like do stuff and like game plan stuff. And like it got to a point where like she was learning the Photoshop, and she was like more on the management side of like, yo, this is what we got to get done. She was more like a team leader, and she was the youngest one there. Yeah. So it was like, so she took the initiative for all that, and then like, you know, we had a talk, and she got really well with Photoshop, Illustrator. All self-taught too. She didn't, you know, learn from anybody. Nobody taught her nothing. And that's why I appreciate her and love her so much, and I think she feels the same way towards the shop, because like, you know, we were able to bump her up pay wise and put her on like salary and get her taken care of, and like I think she appreciates that on our end, that we've noticed, and like I said, we appreciate her because she was like there to like do more than what was asked of her.
Yeah.
she was always very like initiative driven, and like
she's a go-getter.
Yeah, she would. She like I said, like to learn Photoshop. Like I'm always there. I sit with whoever we were designing shirts with Andy. We were designing shirts with Andy before. I don't know if you know Andy from Lone Star.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so Andy used to do our shirts before, and I would sit down with him, kind of pitch him the what I want, and like he would put it together. And like me, I think that's like what I'm very like. I know what I want, and I know how to like describe what I want, but I don't put it together. I can't put it together. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So me, I'm more like, it's not just me. Like whether it's the guys too, if they want to do something, but I'm more like the creative one, and the Maris is the one that can like sit down and like make it happen. And she's cold with it.
So then for the events, who's the one that puts everything together?
So like she'll make everything that Bounce Back does. That's like a custom flyer.
She does that.
She makes everything from hand.
And then like, she handles the vendors too now.
Yeah, I still help her out with that because it's a lot. It gets annoying sometimes. Because because the way we go about it is like we don't like to sit on spots. Like we like to like just book them, know that they're booked, and get rid of it, right? But so we go about it. We'll announce, hey, it's like we'll post on a Tuesday. This Thursday at X time, we're gonna open up spaces for the next piece by piece. If you want to be a part of it, send us a DM, but don't send us a DM until we announce that we're officially taking vendors. Something like that, right? And so Thursday will come, 4:00 we'll post the flyer, and then boom, it's like 40, 50, 60 DMs that come in within like 30 minutes. Is like to handle all that is stressful. And then,
so who runs the account? All of y'all?
Right now, man, I used to be very picky because I felt like I always took the best pictures.
Yeah, because you said it's the original account, right?
Yeah,
and now
we just changed the name.
Okay.
We just changed the name. But like I used to be very picky because I always felt like I took the best pictures. But the Maris too, like that, she like as she was initially, she was like kind of like straight up with me because I feel like we have that a good relationship with each other. Like like without hurting each other's feelings, like you can be honest with somebody. But she's like, yo, dude, you're a micromanager. Like you need to let these employees try to like, pick up the slack.
Yeah.
So I stepped back a bit. Now I mean the employees handle it. The Maris handles it. I mean I will hop on there every now and then, but I'm not posting or anything. I'm probably just like helping out with like DMs or something.
Do you feel like because this is like an ongoing thing with the podcast where it's like people always tell me that I need to like delegate shit,
You
like
do, bro.
do you feel like that's like very like it's because it's true though, like
it helps, man. I don't know, like
I feel like I need that first bit of like that first taste of like somebody doing a task and me being like, all right,
I don't think
they can do it. Like
I think he's a micromanager.
Yeah, I know I can be for sure. I know I can be, but it's just like for me, like you build something up and you want to see it do good, and you have especially if you have like a certain vision for something, right? You want it to be approached that way, but like I've shut out a lot because I would have some employees take shitty pictures, and I'm like, bro, go delete that shit. Don't be posting no bullshit like that. Like, like for real, like, yeah, dude. Like, I would take it's for me too. Is like, I always felt like the way you present a product determines if somebody wants to buy it. Like, if you present something that's nice and an aesthetically pleasing picture, versus you put the same shirt in a shitty picture, crumpled up, looking like shit, nobody's gonna want it. You know?
Yeah.
Like whether it's shirts, whether it's shoes,
visuals matter.
Visuals matter for sure. Visuals are key. So I've always been like that, and then like Andrew would try to post pictures like, bro, you take the worst pictures. Don't ever be posting no pictures.
Block.
Don't ever be posting. And I'd be like, it got to a point I kind of stepped back. Because they're like, yo, dude, you gotta let the employees work.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, whatever. And then I kind of came up with a little rule like, yo, before y'all post, bro, send it in our group chat. Make sure that shit looks good.
Let's all vote on it.
And then like, sure enough, some would be good and then some would be bad. But
how would you tell the bad? Like,
no, I'm straight up like I'm not.
He gives it a thumbs down.
A thumbs down. Yeah. Sad choices.
No, I'd be like, I can be an ass, dude. Especially when I'm around people I'm comfortable.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
it's because like I wouldn't be an ass to y'all, right? Or it's just my personality. Like,
yeah.
But
I think it's not even that you're being an ass. It's you're being a boss at the end of the day.
Or just straight up.
But like but the thing is with the shop is like, at the end of the day, like whether I'm the Maris' boss, whether I'm Fresco's boss, whether like we're all homies. We're all around the same age. We all like what we like. We all fuck with each other. We all go out together. Like we're homies.
Yeah, but it's a business.
It's a business, and sometimes some people forget that, and sometimes other people, respect it. But it's just part of like being a business and hiring people you're really cool with. So
yeah.
We had a gym owner, Pico, and he said the same thing.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Some people kind of like aren't worried about it because it's not theirs. But obviously, no one's gonna care for something
that it's not. Yeah.
That it's not something they've worked on and
put
in the work
built,
to.
Yeah, they just jump in like at the point where.
Yeah, and like I said, like Bounce Back isn't nothing. Like it's for me, I think it's a cool shop, right? It's cool to have. It's cool, like people. Like the employees, they'll go out and about. Like, oh yeah, they recognize me because they see me on the page or this, that, or the other, and that'll happen to like me too, and Leo and Drew, and like it's cool, right? I guess it's like just because people fuck with the stuff you sell, and I guess you have a little bit of clout because you work there or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know, like I can be rude sometimes. Like,
But going back on that though, it's crazy because I feel like you're the most recognizable. From Bounce Back.
Well, and that was why, because at a point, like, the Mari was like, yo, she's the one, she's like, yo, this new TikTok shit, we got to get on TikTok. We got on TikTok, she took it off. Now it's kind of chilled out, but she, like, took it off. Like, we had videos doing, like, 100, 200, 300K views. And in that week, the store is just in and out, in and out, in and out. And, like, dude, that's insane. That's crazy. And this is early on. This is, like, 2-3 months into TikTok, so this is when like you put anything on that's worthwhile, it's gonna blow up because the algorithm is in your favor, right?
Yeah.
Now it's kind of chilled out, but like she was like, yo, I'm gonna be the social media person. She told us like I sat down with her like, yo, like what do you want to do? Because she was like, yo, I have this other job. Mm-hmm. She was like an activist or something for like I don't know what, I couldn't tell you. Yeah. But they're like, yo, they're offering me this. Like and that by that time she was already like learning the Photoshop, learning not Illustrator yet. She was learning Photoshop. She was making flyers, custom things. She was taking more of a managerial role already. Yeah. She was social media, handling social media. So we sit down, talk with her, and we figured out a number and made it work. And like since then, it's been good. So.
Well, shout out to the Maris.
Yeah, for sure.
Straight up.
Do you want to restart the...
Yeah, I was going to try to be like, can I get it done? But...
No, you can go restart him.
All right, so before we get out of here, I just wanted to ask, like, is there anything else coming up for the store or... future like plans or anything?
Yeah.
When's the next piece by piece?
Probably like late July, early August. We like to.
Well, this is probably gonna drop in July.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Is it?
This one?
No.
Oh no. Endings of June.
Endings of June.
Endings of June. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we'll like announce it like a month or so before. What we do.
That's fine. We have this one.
Yeah, bro, where are you pointing at?
He's like...
Bro, somebody just walked by the window with a gun. This shit is crazy, bro.
He's like...
That scared me for a moment.
Nah, but yeah, we'll have piece by piece coming up in a couple months. Probably another merch drop for the shop. Stuff that me and the money's been working on.
I had a question.
Go ahead.
Who does like your finances?
Andrew handles our finances. He's our tax guy.
The 28-year-old?
Yeah, the grandpa. Uncle
Drew. My heart breaks every time he says that. Oh, okay, because I'm always curious to see
it's crazy.
From the people like who handles that.
Dude, no, it's crazy. Like me, I don't like
even seeing that.
Paperwork. Nah, it's not even that. It's just like paperwork stuff. Like the boring stuff, man. Don't bring that shit to me, bro.
It's not that boring.
No, that's fucking boring.
I feel like that'll be me.
Bring me. I was like, man, let's work on shirts. Let's make designs. Let's do this. Let's plan ahead. Let's work on collabing with somebody. Let's talk about hosting a pop up for Caesar or somebody. Like, let's get creative and collaborative. That's what I like to do. And Andrew, he kind of took more of a behind the scenes approach now, because just, you know, where he's working at for his job is just, it's really hard for him to come around during the week versus where I'm working at my project. I'm working right off of Highland Village. Do you know where that's at? Right there on Westheimer.
Yeah.
So I'm like 10 minutes from the shop. So as soon as I get out,
you're there.
I'm there. So I'm there Monday through damn near Saturday, and depending on how my Sundays go, well, you might catch me up there too. But yeah, I'm more there at the shop, so I feel like I like planning ahead on like what we can do, whether just to like generate like people coming in, or, you know, merch drop. Our merch drop does pretty good whenever we do stuff.
We definitely need to bring you back when Roland starts his own series.
Yeah, for sure.
The designer
the designing stuff. I think it'd be pretty dope.
I would like to bring maybe Jack. Damaris. That's her middle name, Jacqueline. But if you're cool with it, I bring her up here too, because she's, bro, like her, like she'll know what I want to do, but since she's very self-taught, and like the way Photoshop is, it seems like it's like a never-ending learning thing. It's like,
like that.
And like, so I'll sit down with her. She's like, "Oh, I want to do this. How the fuck do you do that again?" And she's there, right? But no, that would be dope. Other things, I mean, you know, just more pop-ups. I like doing collaborative stuff with anybody.
How do you go about that?
Honestly, just talking to people.
It's like you pick brands or businesses, or
honestly, if they can hit us up too. Like if anybody who sees this wants to like do something, like if it makes sense, like just DM the page and like we'll look it over. I'll talk it over with like Jack and maybe like Leo, and if it makes sense, like we'll do it. Like, but it has to make sense. It can't be like
just some random shit.
It can't be like, yo, bro, I just made my own ramen. I want to sell it at the shop. Like, no, that shit don't make sense, right? Like, bro, you'd be surprised, bro. We've had so many people, like, and no shade to nobody, right?
No, yeah.
We had so many people do things that, like, don't go with what the shop is.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. And then, like the Cedar thing with Slump happened was because, you know, I've been following Cedar for a while prior to the first piece by piece. I just didn't want, like, yo, bro, we're going to do this event. Like, you want to do it? Let me know. You know, we'll give you a spot. It's our first one. We don't know what's going to happen. Like, we can't promise you nothing. And they did it, bro. That day, they showed up. They did their drops exclusively at the event. They had their own line of just people, like, lined up to buy their stuff. Sold out probably, like, a couple hours into the event.
Damn. That's hard.
So, it's fire, dude. It's sick. And, like, my approach has always been like, you know, it's weird. Houston culture is weird. Some people be haters. Some people don't want to work with nobody. Some people will be like, oh, this is all me. But like for me, it's always like, bro, we could get collaborative and it makes sense. Like there's room for everybody to eat. There's so much stuff. There's so much creative people, like with Herb and Matt and Caesar and I forgot this other guy's name. I'm not even gonna say.
No, but you know, we get that a lot. We get like a bunch of comments that we get all the time is like damn, another podcast, or everybody's doing podcasts, and I'm just like, bro, I ask people like what podcast y'all listen to, and it's never like the same ones. It's like it's bro, hella different ones, bro. It's like
so much shit. Like me, I personally listen to, bro. I'll be on my Joe Rogan shit. That motherfucker. Yeah, I love comedy. I love comedy shit like that.
Yeah.
And so whenever he has comedians on, that's what I like to listen to. Other than that, it's just fucking music.
Yeah, but it's the thing is like podcasts they're not for everybody.
No, they're not for everybody. Yeah, people are stupid, bro. Like people who it always seems to be like the people with like the nothing profile picture,
yes,
or like
nothing going
two
on,
2 followers, and then they're like bots, or nothing going on. People just be hating.
Yeah, that's why for our podcast, We're gonna go already on 2 years in October.
Awesome. That's
or
cool.
September, October, and we're really big on like inviting people that have something going on.
No, that's
you know
dope.
what I mean,
That's
right?
dope.
So, and we like to bring and just have like personal conversations, just so like that people that are watching, they're like, oh shit, like I didn't know Rob sounded like that.
Oh,
you know,
man.
Yeah,
like that.
that's true.
Yeah, no, that's cool. But like, yeah, like all the collaborative stuff, it makes sense. I'm definitely down for it.
Yeah.
It's always, for the most part, it goes very, very good, and it helps us out because it gets people in the door, and it helps them out because if for whatever reason they don't already have some recognition, you put a light on them.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
But
makes sense.
Did you have any other questions?
And that's it for me. I honestly do have like a lot more questions, but I feel like I want to ask that like once we have the team, because we eventually want to be able to have like a space,
our own spot,
and then like be able to bring everybody, But I think I am gonna save a few questions or come up with more like
for sure.
as a team effort type of questions, or get
Yeah.
different people's perspectives and stuff.
Yeah, I think like with Damaris, like having her on here would be cool.
I think she would be cool because, like I said, like Damaris, she had a cool story. She's from over there, from Mexico, and she was brought up here, and like I said, she's self-taught.
Yeah.
I mean, especially like with this branded stuff and like making things, it's all very like guy dominant.
The graphic designer is very guy dominant.
You know what's crazy? I've been a graphic designer, like that's like my main deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I recently stopped taking commissions for people. Like I just work on my own shit now, And the people that I've like, it's not like I cut them off, but I'm just like, hey bro, like for a while I'm gonna stop, working with brands or whatever. And then they'll ask me like, all right, that's cool, we respect it, but like, who are some graphic designers that we can go with, right? Like. Yeah. And I told her, I'm like, man, I was like, I don't know anybody.
There's
like,
a few people. There's
people that I know graphic designers, but I don't know them as like where they can do shit for others.
Yeah,
it's just they do their own shit.
That's the thing with Amaya, like she had her hands filled up so much with what we do. Like I don't.
So she's not taking like
not
commissions and shit.
It's funny. I was just talking to her the other day. I was like, bro, let's do a girl brand. And she's like, dude, yeah, let's do it. There's not a lot of like girl graphic designing going on, like whether it's shirts, whether it's pants, whether it's like we've had our fair share of like dropping girl merch, and it does pretty decent. But she's like, she thought about it. I think she's still thinking about it. I was just telling her about it yesterday. She's like, oh, this sounds like fun, and like she likes doing it, bro. Like she likes putting things together and seeing the end result. So. I don't know what she'll do. We'll see.
Yeah, could be like a future endeavor and shit,
I know,
little side quest,
sure.
She always talks about that. She's like, I gotta find my next side quest.
yeah.
Shut up.
But other than that, man, appreciate you coming, bro.
Yeah,
like it was cool having you on and just learning more about Bounce Back and stuff,
For sure.
Other than that, guys, make sure you guys follow him or give him the socials.
My personal social is coexisting as Rob. The shop social is Bounce Back HTX, and we have a website, shopbounceback.com.
That's dope.
All of that will be in the description below. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and give us a like.
That's it. Much love, guys.
Peace.
Peace.